What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, here with my guys, the Stat Man, Shane O'Mac, and also Tucker Tate, Brian Tate. We just finished up this first scrimmage for the West High School Rebels. We are here live from Jefferson County. It was a great scrimmage, a lot of things still to work on, but we're here live bringing it to you for the next 30 minutes or so. If anybody's on that chat box, bring it, baby. As you know, and I just got to just reference it real quick. The views and opinions of this program are not affiliated with those of any other organization or of West High School. This is just the Rebels with a Cause crew. That being said, let's jump on it. Tucker, what were your thoughts on this scrimmage, this first scrimmage here in Jefferson County?
Well, I thought the offensive line looked a bit better than they did against Gibbs, and the way Parker Dubon and Harrison looked at quarterback looked really good. Messiah Wren able to run up to that second level, make some big plays. The defense only gave up one big play, but I want to say that was the second team defense. And they just looked sharp. They looked like they wanted to send a message tonight. They wanted to send a message.
Yeah, and we actually talked to Parker Dubon after the game, and realistically, we're going to have that interview up tonight.
Yeah.
But there definitely was a feeling from last year that they got punked, and we talked about that last year. Where here I thought we were going to do very good. They were a very good team last year. Not that they're not a good team this year,
Yeah.
but there was definitely some motivation there for them to come out, set the tone early, and they really did not look back. And you'll hear that from Parker, his thoughts on both how the offense and defense played. Shane, your thoughts on the defense, because in the spring game we saw that there were some things that definitely needed to be tightened up in the secondary. What did you see this go around?
I saw a lot better coverage across the middle. They weren't giving up the big plays like they were against kids. They're locking down that zone and that man defense now, so you're not going to worry about that giving them those big chunk plays in the middle like they were during the spring. So I saw huge improvements across the defensive secondary this year.
Talk about that defensive line. You know, it always starts up front, and you know when you have to replace guys, and we've spoken about it ad length. C.J. Smith, Aiden Mohammed, Joey Wilson. It's like they just reload every year. You saw DeRoche, and again, I wish I had some names for you, and I will, but number 50 and number 97.
Made plays.
I mean, they were there.
Made plays.
The whole time.
Yeah.
I
mean,
I was impressed with the push up front by the defense to get penetration every single time.
Yeah, I was
Especially that
too.
D-line.
I was too. Their defensive line looked a lot better. They were getting pressure on the quarterback, and there weren't a lot of big plays made by Jeff County. Jeff County had maybe one or two big plays throughout the whole game.
Yeah, and then that one was a broken bust play on the second team defense rather, and number 28 again
Saving
goes down there
touchdowns.
with that speed.
The speed by 28 was amazing. He had like a sixth year, and it was just there.
Yeah. You know, Parker Dubon also mentioned when we interviewed him about how they do have a UT commit on that defensive line, 4-star guy.
Mm-hmm.
But the offense, other than those first two plays, especially the first team when they had a couple of false starts, legal procedures that sent them back behind the eight ball, they really did their job, run blocking and pass blocking.
Yeah, they schemed very well tonight. Everything was picturesque. It was precision. I don't think we had any turnovers. They had a fumble.
We had two fumbles.
Yeah. Okay.
But there were no interceptions. The
No
passing game was
interceptions.
very crisp, honestly. Shane, talk about the fact that you had two different quarterbacks out there with the first team and they both scored touchdowns on naked bootleg plays.
That just shows the ability that they can create plays. When the play breaks down, there's something there. Even if it's design, like you have to account for everyone on that field. Knowing that your quarterback's going to scramble and get you the yards you need or get you to a touchdown, that's amazing. That's going to help big down the season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the other thing too, we talked about it. The wide receivers had shown some very big improvement in the spring game from last year. Not that they didn't have talent, but there wasn't a very deep pool of receivers to choose from. This year, you see some guys really making a big step, and that catch by David Drada.
That might have been the catch of the night. That might have been the play of the night. Harrison looked very comfortable in his position at quarterback as a backup. Because, Parker looked just like precise on everything. He didn't turn over the ball.
I like the improvement from Parker from spring ball to tonight. He's definitely honed in on what he needed to do between the time spring practice ended to what we got to tonight. Looked amazing out there.
And you know what? That's the other thing too. If you think about it, he mentioned that him and the receivers get together on their own time, and you could see the timing was there. Whether it was the receivers, your backs out of the backfield catching the ball, and let's also point out, Dominic, number 2, the tight end. He was
impressive.
Yeah,
very impressive. The way he was in the line of scrimmage, the way they used him in motion, getting him out there. I would say run some jet sweeps with him because you're catching that defensive line off guard. If you can work in some jet sweeps with him running to the line, you see a different team.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing too, he was catching the ball. He had a couple of big catches, one of which actually all the tight ends really performed very well. Number 85 caught a good play that was an out pattern. And then I also had number 43 with a big catch that extended it for the second team offense. He had 22 yards on that grab. I mean, it was a perfectly thrown ball right there and extended that drive that eventually led to the final touchdown that was scored. So that was really big to see. But you talk about the running backs, how deep they are. Tavion Ray, he himself had a touchdown.
Yeah, Tavion Ray looked great. Messiah Wren looked good. I just think the combination of them at the running back position, and also Antoine Burdine made plays in that secondary. I think when there was a sack on the play, he actually picked it off. He got an interception. I want to say it was either Antoine Burdine on that pick. Or was that number 6?
They called the sack on
They called the sack.
Yes.
But it was simultaneously with the throw, and he played that ball perfectly.
He did. And also, you talk about the improvement of the DBs. Number 14, he should have had an interception. It bounced off his pads, but he had numerous pass breakups. So there was one that he skied. And, you even made the joke, man, could you imagine if he had one hand or what have you? I mean,
the sword away.
Yeah, he put the sword away. I mean, he really did. And it was really awesome. It really was amazing just to see.
The defense also played really penalty-free. They only had that one pass interference call.
And that was kind of a ticky-tack.
Yeah, that was kind of ticky-tack. That was really ticky-tack.
Now that you mention it, guys, that is a great observation because realistically, there were no unnecessary penalties. There was no face masks, at least by the first team defense that I know.
Only a few holding penalties, I think, tonight.
I mean, there was a few illegal procedures, but like Parker said, they really corrected that and got that, pass them. So,
like I say, he told him to breathe. Two parts of his team and told him to breathe. Was focused. We went out there and they dominated tonight.
They really did.
They really did. It was very impressive.
And I'll tell you this: it looks like they have the rotation set at the offensive line. The solid 5 were number 67, 54, 64, 69, and 55. And basically, you had to replace 2 starters from last year, but they gelled and they definitely opened up some big holes. And then the running backs with that vision. You mentioned that in the spring. It was there again with them this time around as well. So, I mean, Messiah Wren was making plays, Tavion, Keelan Rucker. I mean, they are so deep at running back.
They're very deep at running back. I didn't expect them to be this deep at running back and to get that many guys in rotation and get them going.
Yeah, and realistically, you think about this, you're replacing Marshawn Bowers, who's now at Tennessee Tech, Devin Jameson. Those were 2 studs last year. And again, that's another unit where we don't rebuild. We
reload. Definitely reload.
That's the biggest big thing right there.
And then the fact that we had a great turnout of West fans coming out here to Jeff County. It felt like it was more West fans than Jeff County fans here in the stadium.
And to make the drive, that's an easy 30-minute drive.
That's a 30-minute drive. I would have never got here if we didn't carpool.
That's right. A 58-minute drive for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think on Friday, rush hour traffic at the end of it, And then we got very blessed that the weather held off. It was supposed to be thunderstorm all day. You kind of look at the clouds now and so forth, but realistically, we didn't even think that we were even going to have a show tonight.
We did not.
That's the thing.
We did not enforce to even have a show tonight. You know, and then the chat line is, I think,
Got my son commenting like crazy right
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
wish we
good.
had some more people on here, but a lot of people didn't know we were going to do this. But you know what? We get so many hits after the show. You know, shout out to all of our
Yeah.
fans, everybody that supports us. If you haven't done so already, hit that like and subscribe button.
like, share,
because
comment,
that-
and subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and even comment on this afterwards. We can always address it. You know, it's Tuesday nights, 9:30, and you know we hope to go live from these things, real games and so forth, if everything permits us. But this is just so special that we can do this because our highest rated show was the spring game at Gibbs, and hopefully this one will have a lot of comments and views also.
I think so, man. I just really think the turnout was great. Like, it was just a great atmosphere to see all those West fans here making that long travel to Jeff County tonight. And then this atmosphere was great, man.
I
It
even
was a
saw
great
some
atmosphere.
students here too. It wasn't
Yeah.
just parents
It
and
was a ton of
friends
students.
or whatever.
Ton of
Like it was a ton of students that were here as well supporting.
Surprised me.
It surprised
Really
me.
surprised
Well,
me.
and it really just shows that we are one West. You know, when it's all said and done, the support and the administration and everything is first class. The coaching staff. You know, we talk about it, and it's not just a slogan. It's not a cliche. It's definitely one West.
West.
And all rebels with a cause, you know, like we said, and so forth. You know, let's talk about the scoring real quick.
Yeah.
I had the final score as 34-0.
I don't think they even scored.
No, the only thing that they got to do was a field goal, and it even went donked off of the goalpost.
Oh,
That
yeah.
kicker did not adjust for that wind gust that was coming through at that time.
So for sure, that's got to be a fan honking there. And
Yeah,
so
it's gotta
forth.
be.
So, yeah.
We appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Hit that like
We really
and subscribe
do.
button. So
Go ahead, pull it up on YouTube right now on the way home.
absolutely, listen to it. If you're on the bus, if anybody's on the bus,
I mean, this is our second one on rotation.
It
We
is.
we were at Gibbs earlier in the year. Now we're at Jeff County. Man, like we're getting around.
You know, and I'll tell you this about West, like, so for whatever reason, that 34 number, when they score more than 30 points, it's almost
it's
like
automatic.
It's a lock to win. And again, it's a scrimmage, but I scored at 34-0. I had a touchdown by Parker Dubon on the naked bootleg.
Naked bootleg
I
pass.
had
Yeah.
a Harrison naked bootleg touchdown. I had the beautiful throw from Harrison to Drada.
Drada.
First play.
First play.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
They
Like,
scored 3 consecutive times, but they called back one of them for some ridiculous
yeah.
offensive line penalty that I didn't even think was really there. Like, I mean, I thought that was a touchdown. So realistically, we scored 2 times when we had the ball in that series and everything like that for sure. So yeah. The other thing too, and then the 4th touchdown was by Tavian Ray.
Tavian Ray,
I
yeah.
saw
That was really impressive. The way he got up to that second level, the way he was able to run through the line, and that line, that offensive line has been more impressive the more we've gotten to watch them. Like, they've corrected a lot of things that was at Gibbs, where I thought they looked a little shaky on, and they just improved tonight. Like, this was a precision type game, and just like Parker Dubon said, they wanted to send a message. They wanted to say, hey, look, we're here, and we're going to contend for another state title. And it was very impressive tonight.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this. The one player we have yet to even mention, and it's almost criminal that we haven't, because he was making plays. He may not have gotten in the end zone, but you have to account for him. He's like the bishop on a chessboard, and that's Antoine Burdine Jr.
Man,
He
he is
was
a playmaker. The way he was in the secondary. And, you know, Shane harped on what they were in the secondary against Gibbs. And when Shane said it, and then when I look back at what he was saying and watching these guys play in the secondary tonight, there was only one big play, and that wasn't even on the first team defense.
That's correct. That's correct. And you know, like Parker mentioned, Riley Mannon was locking it down on
Yes,
that
he
side.
was.
And
Impressive.
And Terriers McAllister.
And Terriers McAllister is going to be a playmaker.
Yes.
He is going to be a playmaker.
I mean, you got to watch
The
the
more he
ball
gets the ball.
hawks out there. I mean, you being a former DB, you can talk about that and appreciate those safeties are ball hawks out there. And they're physical.
Their physicality, their natural ability to find the ball and make a play on the ball. I'll give it the big play against basically. You can't give it to the coaching staff, but that's just athletes being athletes right there.
It is. It really is. And then on top of it all, you look at this backdrop right here, you just get to see it.
It
going
is such
down.
an awesome backdrop.
I mean, this is a really interesting stadium to play at. It's one side, but the facilities were very nice.
The field is
The
amazing.
field is amazing. They didn't have a concession
No
stand.
concessions, man. You got Jeff County. You let us
I'm
down.
hungry. I'm hungry.
We are definitely about to go get something to eat.
Wait a minute. Did you not know who was coming here? It was the defending two-time champ.
Yeah, and you
gotta
can't even
beat
get
us
us some
in
nachos.
Spanish.
No nachos, no hot dogs,
You could have got some money, man. I mean, you had your band doing their band camp and everything like that. I mean, I'm just saying
Totally
that
disappointed, Jeff County.
you could have made some money. West
Totally
fans,
disappointed.
we bring the money because we famished. We need to be fed. So
A
telling
long
you,
drive from Knoxville up here.
it is. Now
It is.
Perkins or somebody's going to get our money. You could have had
You
that.
could have
money.
had that money.
The other thing too, guys, to talk about this, and the final touchdown was scored by number 38. Again, I apologize that I don't have
We don't have any roster
but
names
again,
on
the
there.
division and these same guys, number 23, number 38, number 35. I've already mentioned Messiah Wren and Tavion and Keelan, but I mean, just a stable of running backs. And again, we set the tone running the ball.
Sure
And,
did.
you talk about that with the teams you're going to play this season, guys, how important that is if you can run the ball that sets up that play action pass.
And the way that play action pass was working with Dubon and the way they're getting out on that waggle and that rollout, you see the timing. You see what makes his team a state championship team just from their timing. Their timing was just really elite tonight.
Yeah, no, I was so happy to see where we are at, and there's a lot of room for improvement. It wasn't a
Tons
perfect
of
game,
room.
but the fact that I have it scored at 34-0, and it really took them 5 or 6 drives against the first team defense to even get a first down, that's huge, guys.
Yeah, it is. I thought the defense looked very good. I think they looked better than what they did against Gibbs.
Oh, yeah.
I think there was it was night and day. It was definitely night and day.
Yeah. And then, shout out to, we talked about some names that I wanted to give credit to. You talk about the defensive line being replaced. Let's talk about your linebackers that you were replacing from last year. Ryan Scott, Anderson Smith, Bryson Leva. Let me just tell you this. Shout out to JPP's Lavelle, as well as Sam Lavelle. And
Sam Lavelle looked really comfortable
and
tonight.
Davis Neely.
Davis Neely looked really
Stepping
comfortable
in
tonight.
there. And of course, Captain Jack Keys right there in the middle, being the only returning linebacker. But that front seven looked great.
That front seven looked they got to the point of attack very quickly. And that's what you want to see early in the year is like how are they on the point of attack? Like how are they on the point of attack?
The other thing too is if you think about this, you've got also Nalaja Dickey. He also stepped up at defensive end. You also had a couple of guys that were maybe out right now, and I hope that they're okay. Maybe just to take the knack from football camp and everything, and hopefully they're available because that makes that defensive line even deeper, which is even scarier to think about.
Right. I didn't think they were going to be that deep, but the guys that they can put out on that field is just really impressive, man. Like the depth at that defensive line is just it really impressive.
I never thought I'd see the day, but it's been happening, and maybe it's been happening more times than not. West is a 5A school with more players than a 6A school.
Yo, that was really crazy tonight.
To see that many guys dressed up for West, I kept saying to myself, do we have more football players than they had?
I really thought we did.
And that's like counting freshmen with us.
Our varsity and JV team that was dressed out there before the freshmen even came out there was the equivalent to Jeff County's varsity, JV, and freshman.
And how about the freshman team getting a little action?
It did. Yeah, that was awesome to see. I mean, obviously it got cut short because you kind of heard the thunder. It was getting late and so forth, but I really am glad that they got some reps. And there were even some freshman kids that got some reps on varsity.
I thought
44 on
really
defense as a freshman. I mean, there were 2 44s out there,
Yeah.
and they were all knocking heads. So,
They're making plays.
Lined up on the line on defense. Remind me of seeing CJ.
Yeah. A new CJ. A freshman.
Another one. Right back there.
Another one. Another one. So we reload, baby. It's great to see. Another guy, number 12, also was a freshman. They got some.
Okay, he got some burn.
Yeah, he got some burn as well. So yeah. but yeah, like it was just very impressive. We mentioned number 30 on defense was also spelling JP Peace out there at number 37, and he did very well out there when he got his opportunity either on the first team or second team defense. Some other notes that I made. That touchdown pass from Harrison to Drado was 40 yards.
40-yard TD.
Perfect 40
He
yards.
put it right on the money.
He did.
Yeah, he did. He placed it right where the wide receiver was going to catch it.
One more guy, number 3, whoever that is, on offense and defense. He was making tackles and breaking it up at playing DB, but on the offensive side of the ball, made a couple of catches that definitely extended drives. I mean, so he was another guy at wide receiver in the slot. He was in the slot. Yeah, he was in the slot, and he did very, very well tonight. So, yeah. Well, guys, I love if the chat box had any questions or anything for us. I guess now, we talked about this on the show, tempering the expectations.
Yeah.
Again, this is a solid program that you competed against. They busted you last year.
It sure did.
They lost a lot from last
Yeah,
year.
they lost a lot of key contributors last year. I was looking at all the stats from last week. But this team went 10-1 the regular season.
And they're probably going to be region champs in their
They
region.
went 9-1.
And they have a very good shot to be region champs again with who they play.
Yep.
I mean, it's either going to be them or Science Hill.
Yeah, it's either between them and Science Hill in that region.
Maybe Dobbins Bennett. Maybe I don't know what they bring back this year.
Yeah.
But it's just that those two regions of 6A. When it gets to playoff time, that really separates the men from the boys. But this is a good test for what West is going to be going to have to face here. Bearden game 1 first week. I mean, that's where it's really going to be.
I'm curious to pick the guys' brains after the Catholic scrimmage
And see how they're prepping for Beard.
Yeah, because at that point it really is. I mean, yeah, you have the Jamboree, but it's not the Neyland Stadium.
It's not Neyland Stadium.
It's not. I mean, it really is not. And the
I
thing is,
hate that
that's
the kids miss that, man.
Oh, I'd love
I
to
hate
see-
that the kids miss that.
to see we're dying on Neyland Stadium, on Ford Field or whatever. I mean, come on, that would be amazing. So yeah. So we have to temper the expectations because next week, different animal, Catholic again. They now just have the one coach in Shadowlands. It's not Matthews in Shadowlands. They do have some players like Parker had mentioned in the interview. The other thing too is they're another program. They have state championships. Since they've gone to the private school, it's been a rough transition. However, they got the furthest they've ever gotten last year, and it's no slap. It's not a big deal to lose the eventual state champion like they did in the college.
Right.
So what I'm getting at is you're going to see what it is against really big teams.
Really good competition.
And it's all about iron sharpening iron at this point.
Trial by fire.
Well, and you want to know something else, if I can even mention this too. If we got upset, and by we I'm talking about the players, like Parker mentioned, they got busted at home against Jefferson County, and they put this performance out here. Last year's score, guys, was like 56-21. Catholic came to the West and really laid it on us. And so maybe that's
happened. They didn't beat the week before when they went up against Bearden. So they came up with something to prove last time.
Yeah.
So I know they were scrimmaging tonight. Not sure how that one turned out, but we'll see how Catholic responds next week.
And we kept a lot of stuff vanilla for the most
we
part.
did. Yeah.
It was really vanilla. I didn't see a lot of motion in at the line like we're accustomed to with West.
It was little to no motion. That's why I was thinking if there's ways to get that tight end on that jet sweep
and make that defense line commit to going the other way. Oh man,
the yards that they're going to rack up is going to be something to watch. Like, I think they got the playmakers on the outside. I really do.
Yeah. Here we go. I'm going to say it right. The plethora of receivers that we have at our disposal. So,
Parker talked about how
we didn't even talk about Jay Mills.
That's how deep they are.
Yeah.
Receiver.
We can get Drada to score.
Yeah. 3 making catches. You're throwing to your tight end, Dominic. I mean, come on.
Parker was talking about how they're deep first 1s, 2s, and 3s out there can make plays.
And I'll tell you this, when you're that deep, you better not let no ankle or sore knee or sore calf or anything like that stop you, because there's going to be somebody ready
Oh,
to
it's
take
next
your
man up.
Next man up. Next man up. Next man up.
as Parker said, I'm now the coach. So we're going to change the name.
Yeah, the stat guy coach. So there we go. Yeah. No, I mean, we really enjoyed ourselves, and it was great even running into some people that your kids play with their kids and so forth like that. And it really is a family, and it's always nice catching up with people. And it's here, guys. I mean, it is August 2nd. We are on the brink of football. Thank God. I mean, that's all I can say. So, yeah.
It's crazy the way we've gone to Gibbs, we've gone to Jeff County now. Like,
why don't we go to Catholic next week? Let's go to Catholic.
I don't know.
I go to that church, so why not? So there we go.
I don't know why not.
He's right. It's not too far from.
Yeah, I think it'd be the furthest for you, but at least it ain't driving out here.
Yeah. We wouldn't have the carpool.
No, it'd be just meeting there at 6.
Yeah, we just meet there at 6. Yeah.
Well, it's good. So, well, guys, we're getting close to the end of this post-game wrap-up. Final thoughts of this scrimmage and what you will want to see next week against Catholic. Go to Bear.
I'm going to go with more of the precision passing. And we need to work in a way of getting screens. I thought a lot of times when you're throwing behind on those out routes, I feel like you got to change it up a little bit for as having some slip screens, having some jailbreak screens, and get Burdine and Wren out on the outside. I think they'll do better because their defense looks impressive. I think they've got a notion to say we're a state championship football team, and you got to take our defense seriously.
Reloading and replacing. Shane, what do you think?
I want to see more of the run game. I believe we're definitely a run team first. I want to see how well we run with all our backs. We know they're going to be deep at receiver, as I've talked about. I want to see how deep we can really run with that ball. I like the vision of the running backs. I like the way the O-line's creating holes. I want to see some big runs bust through.
Absolutely. Agree with all those points. The two things I'm really looking forward to: no fumbles next week. There were two costly ones, especially one that you were very close down there that you could have at least gotten the field goal. One thing I want to mention the kickers. There were two kickers, 93 and 90. 93 went 1 for 2 on the extra point. 90, I believe, went a 3 for 3. So I could be wrong with that, but what I do want to just mention in regards to that is I want to see if we do get held to a field goal, how do we do? Because last year Patrick Schmidt was almost automatic. So I'd like to see that we can at least get 3 points if the drive stalls for whatever reason because of penalties. So there's that, the consistency of the extra point. And then finally, DBs, big jump this week. I definitely want to see if you can intercept one and maybe even house one. That would be nice to see.
I want to see if we didn't see much of that. I want to see special teams.
Yeah.
Special teams like a card game. We saw that one punt by Jeff County. And very often Peter. And I didn't see the clear out like he needed to.
Yeah.
So that's something the players are working on over this week. Make sure everybody understands what to do. And I want to see what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially as we know, special teams is such a huge part of this game. And if you're not, if you even touch that ball and give the opportunity for the other team to have an extra possession, that's horrible. That can't happen. And especially, when you do so well disciplined football, getting off field and not getting those unsportsmanlike penalties or pass interferences or face masks or anything like that. They did their job getting off the field, and you're going to see it, hopefully, with a consistency over this last scrimmage and when we get to Beard in August 20th.
How about the Jeff County player causing another penalty after the PI?
Oh, man, that was
hilarious. And threw it like it was a flag.
What was that? What was that?
I don't know. I ain't never seen nobody just throw their gloves in disgust.
I mean,
he was well covered.
It was. I mean,
and it was a holding.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I looked at that and I was like, if I was his coach, I'd make him do 25 push-ups. Honestly, I'm being dead serious.
I would go hit the bleachers right now.
Yeah, honestly. Like, I mean,
you're right. You're right until this is over.
I mean, could you imagine that? Like, you are struggling moving the ball. That got you 15 yards, and you're basically going to negate that? You can't have that in a game, let alone the scrimmage.
They were inside the
red
zone.
They weren't composed.
They weren't. I wouldn't say they were completely at the goal line, or within the first and goal, but they were definitely in the red zone on that, and he cost them that penalty.
Yeah.
You got to play this football.
Yeah, well, and hopefully Wes learns from something like that to not do that in the game, because I know the emotions and everything can get going. And when things are going great, they're going great. But when they go bad, that's when it really shows the heart of a champion of the team. But I'm very impressed with this. And guys, we just need to keep this going, honestly.
Yeah, I just think we just got to keep running the football, use a lot of play action, not throw so many passes behind the line of scrimmage. Because I feel like we lost a lot of yards on those type of plays. But I can understand keeping it vanilla.
You also get to see what works and what doesn't.
What exactly?
Start fine-tuning that play, but of course their teams will be different with their rush. So you find what works and who can make a play.
I'll tell you one thing real quick. Shout out to the second team defense, because I'm not going to lie, those guys, it's like Jeff County couldn't even get a pass off or whatever. It was second team against second team, but still, this just shows the depth of Wes's defense getting back there. And the thing is, they were going to lay some hits out there if they didn't blow the whistle dead if you got near the guy.
Yeah.
So, great job, guys. Great job. Great job by the boys. Great show. And again, like and subscribe. Catch us Tuesday. We'll talk more about the scrimmage. Hopefully, we'll have our athletic director on, Mr. Paul Romero.
Yeah.
And you never know who will show up and so forth.
You
So
never know. And we might get a roster.
We might have a roster.
Maybe you can email to one of us. That way we can start giving
Coach Lamar, can we get a roster?
I don't want to keep calling him number 38. I want to call him by his goddamn name. So
Can we get a roster?
I want their mamas to be happy.
Moms and dads, absolutely. So, yeah, for sure. Well, listen, what we're going to do here is like we do, we end every show and so forth. We absolutely have to do it every time, and that's throwing up that W. And so forth.
I really can't throw it up.
He can't, but you know what? I'll tell you this. I'm going to throw it up for him because it really is all about these. Coach Brown said, let's do another one. It's a great start. Let's keep this thing going. And again, look at underneath my sub headline under the Italian Stallion. 609 days and counting. We got to keep this thing going, baby. The Roman Reigns of 5A football, the beasts of the East, the defending, the reigning, undisputed beasts of the East, the 5A champion, Knoxville West Rebels, Marble City Maniacs, Sutherland Avenue. Guys, let's close it out. Close us out, buddy.
Hey, man, love, peace, and chicken grease. You just tuned in to Rebels with a Cause. But, hey, it doesn't stop just because that clock is 0.
You know it, baby. We out. Go Rebels.